I just think it's a winning formula to just go after up and coming actors or just very obscure actors.
Especially when you're kind of establishing your cast. Like, this is such a big show, and I think to some degree they knew what they had, and they knew what previous Westeros shows had done for those casts, and I think that they used that to get some serious talent here,
Yeah.
but they also, like, took the time to find that talent and to create a space where they're gonna have, like, hungry actors that are looking to sort of make a name for themselves on this stage.
I actually do think that this is a great jumping off point to a comment that I made earlier that you guys wanted a little bit more detail. So, Austin, bear with me on this as we dive down. But I'd love to take a chance just to talk about my red flags that I have for the Cosmere TV shows and movies that are coming out, and you'll see how this relates there. And I've been a lot more cued in on this than you have on just what Sanderson has said about what he wants and expects. But Sanderson has very high expectations and he has very clear objectives of what he expects from the show. For example,
Now, are you referring to the Stormlight Archive show?
well,
Or the 'cause the Mistborn, I think,
it's
is
going to
the
be a
movie.
movie. So I'm going to specifically be talking about the movie, I mean, the TV show right now, but
Mm.
it will relate in the movie for sure. I am scared because Sanderson has brought up consistently that the Alethi are based off of the Mongolians. Like and they even look Asian. Like they are very much, apparently Henry Cavill was like, I'd love to play Kaladin. I want to play Kaladin. And not George, Brandon Sanderson was like, "Hey, one, you're too old, and two, you're not Asian. Like you can't."
And you and I had a conversation a couple weeks ago where you were sort of breaking this down to me, and I said, "That's fucking stupid." Because, like, I've read the first Stormlight Archives book. I liked it a lot. I thought it was really good. I cried. But to insist that a specific race needs to correlate with certain families that are represented in there, based on everything I read in that, that is beyond ridiculous. That, to me, that is an author that is too closely married to his creation. So I'm really worried about him having the power that he seems to have amassed in the production of his material.
Exactly, and that's sort of the point.
So, and the other point that I was really proud of in our conversation that we had is like the only time where I've seen this insisted upon that, like, certain races be represented sort of arbitrarily to different families in, like, a fantasy thing, was The Last Airbender, like the Shyamalan adaptation, and we all know how that went over with everyone.
Yeah.
So, I mean, okay, now we're finally getting a tangent.
No, but this is a tangent that yeah, Nana's over. We do not speak of that adaptation. Well, here's the thing. I will say the Netflix series, the live action Netflix series of Avatar, they've been pressuring to do like something similar where they want the Fire Nation to be Japanese, they want Water Nation to be natives, like
And listen, like, I appreciate representation in that way.
yeah.
It does seem a little strange to force that upon the Stormlight Archives.
So
Because, like, you alluded basically to the fact that it is connected to, like, our history of the world that we know
it's complicated.
in some regard, but I'm just over here like, no, you need to get the best talent you can attached to this.
But like and again, circling back, I am excited for the opportunity. Like we're over here like, oh, Dave Bautista would be an amazing Dalinar Kholin. And
And I love Dave Bautista. He's top 5 working actors today.
but I also think that this is like if they were just to blow their load on getting Dave Bautista as Dalinar and then just do what George has done with just follow the framework of just get nobody actors to come in. Like
That'd be fine by me.
yeah, because how much you want to bet that there's a lot of Asian actors out there that we have no idea about?
I can confirm.
And
I watch a lot of Korean.
now, and I even think the guy who's the main guy in Shogun, I think he could actually be a really good Dalinar as well, but I don't think he'd be willing to shave his facial hair.
Henry Cavill, I am, by the way, Nana, Henry Cavill's over. Like Henry Cavill, I think he's kind of run his course. He was a fine Superman. Do you agree with me?
I think it all depends on how this Warhammer show goes. Like I'd say he's done with his serious roles. I think he's just having fun now.
Well, he peaked in Mission Impossible
Yeah,
with the
which he was
mustache.
fantastic.
But that's like he has the physicality of a great physical actor. I don't think that he has. I think he has been given the opportunity to rise to the status of like a true movie star, like great actor, either path, and I think that he has fallen short of both,
Well,
unfortunately.
I think it's because he needs to play roles. It's because he needs to play roles like Geralt of Rivia.
Which he's fine in.
I think he's great, but
People who are closer to that character seem to like what he's doing, so I trust their opinions on it. I don't think that he's doing elevated work in that show.
well, he's matching the energy of what that character is. So what that tells me is that he needs to play a character that is like a solemn, moody character. So him going into the Warhammer 40K universe, I think that's an excellent
Yeah, because that's something that's going to lean on his
phys-
body.
his physique and his like his moody or like his intensity that he can bring because
He's positioned himself like what he has revealed is he would be a perfect Bond henchman. And there's nothing wrong with that being what you are built for as an
No.
actor. It's just that for a while there, they were trying to feed us Henry Cavill as a leading man because that's the face that he has. I don't think that he has the acting chops or the charisma for that kind of thing.
no.
I don't want to see him in the Stormlight Archives.
No, I don't think he shouldn't come into I could see him like, here's the thing, the closest that I could see him being showing up in the Cosmere is I could potentially see him as Kelsier, but I don't want him as Kelsier, but
He's too old, I think, at this point. Like I feel like you're
not
thinking of Man
really.
of Steel, Henry Cavill.
Kelsier's, like, in his mid-30s, right?
Yeah, but Henry Cavill's like what, like 45 at this point?
My guess is 42.
Okay, I'll pull him up. Henry Cavill. IMDb doesn't list ages like that quite so quickly. So we'll turn to our frenemy, the Google AI, who's going to let us know that Henry Cavill is 40%.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, here's the thing. My number one pick for Kelsier in the movies actually is Anthony Starr, which Anthony Starr's primarily been a TV actor, but most notably known for playing Homelander in The Boys.
Oh yeah.
But
yeah, I mean, I know he's great even just from the memes on that one.
I don't think he'd be willing to do that because apparently it took a lot of convincing for him to play Homelander because he wants to do serious.
He's an actor.
Yes. He doesn't want to do fantasy. He doesn't want to do. But I also just with his personality and with how charismatic he is, I think he would do excellent as
I could see that.
on that. He's really the only actor that I'm like, no, this is the actor I really want to see because I even go back and forth because I think Dave Bautista would be the best for Dalinar, but I also think the star in Shogun, would do really
and
well.
I don't have his name off the top of my head either, but I agree.
I think if they're going to use Asian actors, like he needs to be actually no, I want him as Sadeas. I think he'd be I think he'd be a great Sadeas. But yeah, Kelsier is a dark, evil character. Like I shouldn't say he's evil, but he's not a good guy.
There's a complexity there.
There is a complexity there, but that's why I think Anthony Starr would be great because Anthony Starr is he can play unhinged, but he also is very charismatic and very charming, like Kelsier is. And
So I'm going to throw out a
let's hear
weird. Ryan Gosling? I know
as
that
Kelsier?
Yeah, I know he's not. Well, because Kelsier in my mind was just like a handsome white guy. Like, am I totally off base with this?
I mean,
because you want to talk about somebody who has read the Mistborn trilogy. This guy, which is I take a little pride in that because Bryce does a lot more fantasy reading than I do.
Like that's what I'm envisioning as Kelsier, but I also I'm maybe just not as
I want somebody pretty. I want somebody fit. I want somebody that I could imagine and sort of inspiring a movement the way that he does, perhaps.
I just think that Ryan,
Is that too pretty?
I think it's a little too pretty because there needs to be a level of grittiness.
Okay, what about like a Robert Pattinson?
I think he's just too dark at that point.
But that's what you're asking for, sort of, and I don't think that Pattinson would agree to it. Well, he's Batman,
He's
so
Batman.
so he'll take a paycheck.
I Here's the thing, like, and that's why I think, and again, maybe I'm just too like locked in on Anthony Starr, but I feel like it needs to be somebody in between Ryan Gosling and Robert Patterson.
Nana, I love Pattinson, man. Wait, okay, what's
Uh,
the take here? He
so,
doesn't have the charisma? Oh, goodness.
well,
I
so
mean,
what's
he
Pattinson's best stuff that he's been in?
well, because he's not really been a lot of his best work has been his lesser seen work, in my opinion. Like, he was in this movie, Good Time, which, everybody's talking about Marty Supreme, Uncut Gems now. This is the movie that director made before that and was with Robert Pattinson, where he plays just a total shitbag, like, terrible person. So, that's not really in line with the stuff that it's the Sanderson adaptations we're talking about here, but he's really doing great work in my estimation. I think that he finds ways to play like really intense, like involved characters without it feeling like caricatures. There he played a like really stupid character in a movie called The Rover, which is like a post-apocalyptic Australian picture, so it's kind of got a Mad Max tinge to it, but not quite that intense. He's really excellent in that. It's also got Guy Pearce. I'd recommend that one. The Bong Joon-ho movie that came out last year, that was his follow-up to the Best Picture winner Parasite, a movie that I was really mixed on, but I think that Pattinson is the best part of. Like, he's the reason to see it, and he actually plays multiple characters in it and gives them sort of different personalities that are, like, discernible, even though it's literally the same guy playing the both of them, and I'm sort of a sucker for that thing.
Yeah.
Like, I've talked about how the movie Dead Ringers is one of my very favorites, and that's its whole move. But yeah, okay, that's just my whole tirade on why I think Pattinson's actually one of the best working today.
Well, so I just think that Pattinson's just a little too broody, but I was looking up somebody else and stumbled across this actor, and I actually am really hot on this. He's not a blonde actor, but that's something that we could easily fix. Michael Fassbender.
Fassbender, ooh. I think that Fassbender would consider himself above doing this kind of adaptation.
Magneto?
I think that he's, like, been grandfathered into Magneto, and I love the work that he's done as Magneto. I think Fassbender is, like, the best part of the X-Men universe,
Yeah.
maybe since Patrick Stewart,
Yeah.
but
It's better than Ian. I'll say it.
signed a Apocalypse Defender. He might be a little too old, and I just feel like he'd be a little self-conscious in it. Like, I think that Michael Fassbender's time is best spent working with auteur directors and making indies and driving race cars.
So there's MyCast. You know about the website MyCast.
I do not.
So MyCast is a fan cast website that people can go and vote on their who they think should play.
This sounds dangerous.
And I actually do not hate who the number one person they voted up. And
Let's hear it.
I'm not going to even try to attempt to say his name, but Jamie's actor
Yeah, yeah, but certainly that's the look that I'm talking about.
and the charisma.
Yeah, see, like, I could see, and this is a name you could get a little cheaper than some of those that we've been throwing out, but like a Garrett Hedlund.
What's Garrett?
So he was the lead of Tron Legacy.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the kind
yeah.
of look that you need. And you just kind of need a capable actor beyond that, because I think that Kelsier is actually one of the less critical roles to cast in the greater cast of
I
Mistborn.
Yes, but it's one of those things where he is the biggest personality in the
Yeah,
first.
he's kinda like Dumbledore
Yeah, but
in a way, but he's just like, I don't actually anticipate, like, his positioning in the world is like Dumbledore, but the actual amount of screen time I think we're talking about is more like Borum, and that's kind of a
yeah,
spoiler for me to even say that. Yeah,
yeah.
you know what I mean.
No, I get what you're saying. But that's where they probably should put a lot of money on getting like
Right, this is where you pay like, what was it, $10 million for Harrison Ford to be in The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
Because he was like, this better be the last one.
Kill him.
And then, what do you know? The Rise of Skywalker comes around.
Garrett
Just
looks
when
like
he thought he was out.
who's Garrett, Nana? Sorry, I'm just
Garrett Hedlund is who we were talking about.
Oh, yeah,
earlier.
sorry, my bad. One person that I have really not seen that much of him in, but I think he also could be potentially good, is Sam Claflin. Claflin, is that?
Okay, I'll give him a
He was
IMDb error.
he's the water guy in Hunger Games, the guy who's
Yes, very hot.
and he's very
hot.
charismatic in Hunger Games too.
Yeah, he plays Finnick.
Yes.
Pretty good character in those. I recently rewatched a bunch of the Hunger Games movies, all but the first one. And yeah, he's a standout. But those movies have just such an incredible cast. Honestly, a really underutilized cast.
Yeah. I mean, almost every single one. Like
Philip Seymour Hoffman is in those movies.
Like it is just a stacked cast. Like the funny thing is, like, the two leads are like arguably the worst actors and actresses.
I'm over here like, how do we get Jennifer Lawrence in the Sanderson verse?
Tinjo.
Okay, now what? She's too old. She's too old for that at this point.
And for Tinjo,
That right?
the lady who like mentors Ellen.
The mentor.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, sure. Why not?
Like, I could see her being very like a proper like no, like it's a young McGonagall essentially.
That's all for this week's Dragon Lore. Takes cold and hot, spread shore to shore. Enjoyed yourself? Please join the squad. Follow on social media at Big Liz Pod. And one quick reminder before you go, to rate, review, and share the show. Thank you for listening. It means a lot. See you next week, same time, same spot.